Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber CCISO Prepcast. This series helps you prepare for the exam with focused explanations and practical context. Executive audit management is a core function of the CISO's role, combining strategic oversight with operational leadership to ensure the organization meets internal and external audit expectations. The CISO owns the alignment between audit activities and the organization's business risk profile. This includes maintaining readiness across all relevant policies, security controls, and documentation. At the executive level, the CISO represents the security function in audit committees and risk oversight forums, ensuring that findings are interpreted correctly and that remediation actions align with enterprise goals. The CISO also acts as the primary coordinator between security teams, control owners, and business units during audit planning and execution. By using audit results to guide investment, reshape controls, and influence program direction, the CISO ensures that audit outcomes become a driver of maturity rather than a reactive obligation. Creating an audit-ready culture begins with promoting continuous compliance rather than preparing for audits as isolated events. The CISO must work to embed audit expectations into the daily fabric of operations. This means integrating compliance and evidence collection into team KPIs, onboarding processes, and security project milestones. Teams must understand that documentation, control operation, and transparency are ongoing responsibilities. Control owners and subject matter experts need training on audit expectations, how to prepare for walkthroughs, present evidence, and respond to inquiries. Recognizing teams that respond openly and efficiently during audits helps normalize the process and reduce anxiety. Embedding audit responsiveness into operational expectations reinforces the message that audits are not disruptions, but regular business activities that support risk management and continuous improvement. To manage audits effectively at the enterprise level, governance structures must be well defined. This includes establishing roles, responsibilities, and escalation paths for audit activities across the organization. Oversight committees or working groups, often chaired or supported by the CISO, can help coordinate the audit lifecycle from scoping through remediation. Governance, risk, and compliance platforms are key tools for tracking audit findings, remediation actions, and reporting workflows. These platforms help align audit governance with compliance dashboards and risk registers, offering a single source of truth across functions. When audit results are integrated into broader enterprise risk management, findings are no longer isolated, they become part of the organization's strategic awareness and planning. The CISO plays a leadership role in ensuring that governance structures support audit coordination and accountability at every level. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other podcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Strategic planning for annual audit cycles is another responsibility the CISO must manage proactively. The CISO must collaborate with internal audit teams to define the scope and timing of reviews, ensuring they align with security operations, compliance calendars, and major business initiatives. Many organizations face overlapping audit demands, including regulatory reviews, certification assessments, and customer-led audits. These must be anticipated and integrated into a unified schedule. Identifying control frameworks in use such as ISO 27001, NIST CSF, PCI DSS or SOC2, and mapping evidence requirements in advance streamlines preparation. Building in time for pre-assessments and internal reviews gives teams the opportunity to identify and resolve issues before external auditors arrive. Strategic audit planning ensures that audits are not surprises, but carefully managed components of the security program lifecycle. Managing multiple frameworks and overlapping audits requires a high level of organization. The CISO must develop and maintain a unified control inventory and centralized evidence repository. This helps reduce duplication and supports audits that share common control requirements. Crosswalks mapping controls across multiple frameworks allow teams to demonstrate compliance with ISO, NIST, SOC, or PCI DSS simultaneously. Centralization also allows the CISO to identify which findings are the most impactful across compliance domains. For example, a weakness in access management may affect HIPAA, ISO 27001, and SOC 2 compliance at the same time. By prioritizing multi-domain findings, the CISO can reduce risk and increase audit efficiency. Coordination at this level ensures that each audit contributes to the broader security strategy without overwhelming operational teams or creating conflicting requirements. One of the CISO's most visible responsibilities is communicating audit risk to executives and the board. This requires translating technical findings into business language. Rather than reporting on control failures as technical glitches, the CISO must frame them in terms of legal exposure, reputational impact, or operational disruption. Issues should be presented by severity and risk relevance, using concise summaries, dashboards, and trend charts. Reports should highlight systemic issues that require executive attention, not just isolated incidents. For example, if audit results point to a recurring lack of documentation or weak control ownership, this should be presented as a governance concern. The CISO must also reinforce accountability by presenting action plans, progress updates, and deadlines for closure. The strategic reporting builds trust and helps the board understand the security program's maturity and responsiveness. Effective remediation leadership is critical after any audit. The CSAO must set realistic timelines for addressing findings, allocate resources where needed, and assign responsible owners for each issue. Progress should be tracked using centralized platforms with regular updates provided to governance bodies. Closure must include validation through testing, documentation, and sign-off by the appropriate stakeholders. Beyond technical fixes, lessons learned should feed back into control design, training programs, or documentation standards. If findings repeat across audit cycles or are not resolved on time, the CISO must escalate the issue to senior leadership. This escalation supports transparency and ensures that unresolved risks are not ignored. Remediation is not just about closing issues, it's about using audit insights to strengthen the overall security program. Managing external auditors requires professionalism and clarity. The CISO must maintain open, cooperative communication and ensure that responses are accurate, timely, and consistent. This includes explaining control intent, rationale for implementation choices, and how decisions align with business priorities. The CISO must also prepare business units for interviews and walkthroughs, making sure that participants understand their roles and are comfortable discussing controls and procedures. During the audit, it is important to guard against scope creep. All audit activities should remain within agreed boundaries. If scope changes are proposed, they must be documented and evaluated before being accepted. If the auditor raises findings, the CISO should seek to clarify and ensure factual accuracy. Negotiating findings is appropriate when there is a legitimate difference in interpretation or when the auditor has misunderstood implementation details. Maintaining professional auditor relationships reinforces the organization's credibility and protects against unjustified findings. Audit results should be leveraged for more than just compliance. They should be used to guide strategic planning. Every audit finding reveals something about how the organization functions. The CIO should use these findings to refine the control framework, update security policies, and shape the future roadmap. Audit data can support funding requests by demonstrating control gaps, resource shortages, or process bottlenecks. Over time, trends across audit cycles can highlight areas of maturity or persistent risk. These trends inform decisions about training, automation, or tool integration. Findings may also reveal emerging risks or operational patterns that align with threat intelligence. This enables the CISO to anticipate new threats and align the security roadmap accordingly. Finally, audit results can be used in board-level initiatives, including risk prioritization, strategic planning, and enterprise risk discussions. Framing audit as a leadership tool positions the CISO as a business partner, not just a technical advisor. On the CCISO exam, executive audit management is tested through scenario-based and conceptual questions. Candidates must understand terminology such as control owner, crosswalk, material weakness, and audit trail. They must be able to demonstrate how the CSO ensures strategic oversight of audit activities, from planning through communication and remediation. Scenario questions may ask how to prioritize multi-DECMAT findings, handle board reporting, or support control validation. The exam emphasizes the connection between audit results and governance decisions, risk management and strategic planning, understanding how to integrate audits with enterprise dashboards, GRC tools, and control lifecycle management is key. The CISO's ability to translate audit data into board-level action is a critical part of executive leadership, and mastering this topic confirms readiness to lead at the highest level. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cyber CISO Prepcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com.